The truth about guns and violence. What's the best way to protect yourself? It is a common misconception that gun violence is an issue only in the United States. The truth is that gun violence is a global issue. Some of the countries with the highest rates of gun deaths are Honduras, El Salvador, and Venezuela. These countries have strict gun control laws in place, but still have some of the highest rates of deaths by guns. It's not just the rate of death by guns that matters when it comes to understanding why people own guns, but also how they are used and who they are used against. The role of guns in violent crime. Guns are a popular choice for committing crimes. The use of guns in violent crime is a major issue in the United States. A study found that the presence of a gun increased the risk of death among victims of domestic violence by 500% and increased the risk of homicide by 50%. Guns are also used more often to commit suicide than any other method, and 85% of people who attempt suicide with a gun die from their injuries. In 2016, there were more than 36,000 firearm-related deaths in the U.S. This is almost equivalent to 100 deaths per day or one every 12 minutes. Violent crimes are prevalent in the United States. The rate of violent crime in the U.S. is much higher than other developed countries. Gun ownership rates also differ greatly between countries. The U.S. has one of the highest rates of gun ownership in the world, with a rate of 88 per 100,000 population as opposed to Canada's 18 per 100,000 population. In general, violence and crime rates are higher in countries with more guns than those with fewer guns. Guns have been used to commit mass shootings. One school shooting happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14, 2018. Another one recently in Uvalde, Texas. This violence has led to many debates about how to reduce gun violence and increase gun control measures. Gun ownership statistics and facts. Gun ownership is a controversial topic in the United States because of its relation to gun violence. The number of guns per person in the U.S. has been declining since the 1970s, but the country still has by far the highest number of guns per capita. In 2017, there were an estimated 393 million civilian-owned firearms in the United States. This amounts to 112.6 firearms for every 100 residents. That's more than one firearm for every American adult. The United States has less than 5% of the world's population, yet almost half of all civilian-owned guns around the world are in America. Does having a gun help you stay safe? The gun can be an effective tool for self-defense. But it is not the only type of weapon that can be used for personal protection. There are many other things that you can use to protect yourself, like pepper spray or a stun gun. There are some people who believe that owning a gun makes them safer. But there is also research that says it doesn't make you any safer than those who don't own guns. There is a lot of conflicting information out there about whether or not firearms make people safer. Gun ownership advocates say that having a firearm in the home can protect against crime, while gun violence prevention advocates say that they put people at greater risk than they are worth. In the United States, there are about 31,000 gun-related deaths each year. That is roughly 12 times more than the number of people who die from terrorism. Gun-related crimes are also a major problem in other countries. In Brazil, For example, there are 50 homicides per day due to guns, and over half of them happen in Rio de Janeiro alone. It is not easy to protect oneself from violence, but there are some precautions that one can take to make it less likely that they will be harmed by violence. Some of these precautions include being aware of one's surroundings and the people around them, avoiding certain places or situations where violence might occur, knowing what to do in case of a violent attack. The rise in violent crimes is not something to be taken lightly. It is important to know what to do if you or a loved one become a victim. Keep the preceding advice in mind for the next time violent crime happens near you. Conclusion about guns and violence. The conclusion of this video is that gun violence is a problem that needs to be addressed. It should not be ignored, as it's an epidemic in America and in many places around the world.
Thanks for watching. Many more videos will come out soon, so make sure to subscribe. Cheers guys. Have a good one.
Okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue